Hi guys, so you have Miss Levine here for help if you need help. I just thought I would go through a few of the problems that might look a little bit different than the ones that we looked at last class. So you have actually this exact same key online to reference. The questions that are highlighted in pink are the ones that you are going to do on your own, and the ones that are highlighted in yellow, I'm going to go through on this video. So if while you're working through it, you get stuck on anything, you can go to the video and watch one of those highlighted yellow problems. Just kind of fast forward to the type of question you need, and you can see it worked through to have an example. So I'm only going to set up the equations. I'm not going to solve the equations because you guys are experts in solving systems of equations. And again, you can choose your method. I also recommend doing all of these problems out on a separate piece of paper and not on here because there's just not a lot of space to work through. So do them in your notebook in the classwork or homework section of your notebook. So the first one starts and it says the sum of two numbers is 36. So I'm going to let x be the first number, and I'm going to let y be the second number. And it says twice the first number, so twice the first number minus the second number is 6. And then it also says the sum of the two numbers, I missed that part, is 36. And so the sum means to add, so x plus y equals 36, and then twice multiply by 2, the first number, minus subtract, the second number is 6. I would recommend using elimination method to solve this problem. All right, the next system that we're going to set up for you is number 11 because it's a little bit different than the ones that we saw yesterday in class. So this one reads, a garden supply store sells two types of lawnmowers. So we know we have two types of lawnmowers. The smaller lawnmower, all right, I have one. I'm going to let X be the smaller lawnmower. Costs $249.99, and the larger mower costs $329.99. If 30 total mowers were sold, so X is the number of small lawnmowers, Y is the number of large. So we're going to set up what we call a quantity equation. Because notice I'm given quantity, that's this guy right here, and then I'm given cost, which is this guy right here, and I have some costs associated with that. So I'm going to set up a quantity equation, and I'm going to set up a cost equation. My quantity equation is simply x plus y equals 30. Done. I have this amount of small lawnmowers, this amount of large lawnmowers. I add them together, I get 30. My cost equation is going to say, okay, well, I know that a smaller lawnmower costs $249.99 per lawnmower, plus my larger one costs $329.99 times the number of larger lawnmowers altogether. That's going to cost $8,379.70. Again, with this one, I would probably use substitution, and you're definitely going to use a calculator for this guy. And I'll post what the answers are for each of these so that you can easily check your work and go back. All right, number 16 is very similar to the cost and quantity type equations that we're going to be setting up. But now we're dealing with nickels, dimes, pennies. So before we do anything related to specifically this problem, I just want to kind of summarize real quick. And I want you to write this down in your notes. A penny is 0.01 cents. A nickel is 0.05 cents. A dime is 0.10, and a quarter is 0.25. All right, so using that, we say a collection of dimes and nickels. So I'm gonna let, actually, I'll let X be dimes. I'm going to put in parentheses that dimes are worth 10 cents, 0.10. Nickels are worth 5 cents, and that's what I'm letting my Y variable be. All right, it says there are 32 coins, and when I add up their costs, it comes to $3.30. So I have my quantity equation and I have my cost equation. My quantity says that when I add together the number of coins I have, I get 42. So I don't have any money involved in this, just X plus Y equals 42. The next one's saying that when I account for the fact that dimes are 10 cents and nickels are 5 cents, it costs $3.30. All right, I'm actually going to solve this one with you because I have a fun little strategy that makes these a lot easier. So I'm going to use the elimination method. And the way I'm going to go through this is I'm going to start off by multiplying this equation by a negative 100, which seems like a crazy big number, but the reason I'm multiplying it by negative 100 is because if I multiply each of these numbers by 100, it moves my decimal place 2 places and it gets rid of the decimals altogether. So I'm going to multiply this guy by negative 100, and I'm going to multiply this equation by a positive 5, because that's going to create a 5y. So I'm going to rewrite my two equations. I have 5x plus 5y equals, what's that going to be, 210? Let's double check. 42 times 5, 210. And then I'll multiply the second equation by negative 100. So I get negative 10x subtract 5y equals negative 330. So notice I completely got rid of my decimals. Now I have a 0 pair right here, so I'm going to cancel those out. I have a negative 5x equals a negative 120. I divide each side by negative 5, and I get x equal to positive 24. I am always going to sub into my quantity equation. So I'm going to do 24 plus y equals 42. And I get y equals 18. Now I'm just going to double check that with my cost equation. So if I do my check, I have 10 cents times 24 plus 5 cents times 18. Does that equal 330? So 10 cents times 24 plus 5 cents times 18, that gives me $3.30, so it checks. All right, last one we're going to do together is number 19. This is about giving a math test. So a math teacher tells you that the next test is worth 100 points and contains 38 problems. Multiple choice questions are worth 2 points each, and word problems are worth 5 points each. How many of each type of question are there? So I'm looking for what's different here, and I see that I have multiple choice questions and I have word problems. So X is going to be my multiple choice, Y will be my word problems. It tells you that the next test is 100 points, so that's like my cost equation, and I have 38 problems, so that's like my quantity part. All right, it tells me that multiple choice are worth 2 points each, and these are worth 5 points each. So I'm going to set up my my quantity and my cost. So my quantity is that I have 38 problems, so I have my multiple choice plus my word problems, that gives me a total of 38. And now I know that each multiple choice costs me 2 points, and each word problem costs me 5 points, so I have a potential of earning 5 points, for a total of 100 points. And that's it. The next one's very similar. And then you solve to figure it out from there. So you guys are going to go back and do the pink problems. And again, if you get stuck on anything, go back and watch the video or ask Miss Levine for help. Happy mathing. Let's see if I can get